Welcome to MotoGP Updater, where we break down the stories behind the lap times, the politics, the pressure, and the people shaping the sport. In modern MotoGP, dominance rarely breeds silence, it breeds pressure. It breeds interpretation, and eventually it breeds speculation. On paper, Ducati's 2025 season was historic. Titles secured, records rewritten, and Marc Marquez delivering one of the most commanding campaigns the sport has ever witnessed. But beneath that surface of success, 2025 also exposed something far more fragile, the internal strain that emerges when expectations rise faster than harmony. At the center of that tension stood Davide Tardozzi. For more than a decade, Tardozzi has been the human face of Ducati Corse, always visible on the pit wall, always vocal in defense of his riders, and unapologetically emotional whether in victory or frustration. So when rumors surfaced suggesting his time at Borgo Panigale might be nearing an end, this was never going to be a quiet story. It was always destined to become a referendum on power, communication, and the delicate balance between engineering authority and rider management inside MotoGP, most dominant factory. To understand why those rumors gained traction, you first need to understand what 2025 truly represented for Ducati. Marc Marquez didn't just win, he reset the benchmark. His adaptation to the Desmostes was immediate, ruthless, and technically flawless. While rivals struggled with tire degradation and front-end load, Marquez exploited Ducati's strengths with surgical precision. His late race pace, especially on worn Michelins, revealed a gap that wasn't just mechanical, it was psychological. Confidence, clarity, control, but on the other side of the garage, the story was very different. Francesco Bagnaia endured the most difficult season of his factory Ducati career. The GP25 never provided the front-end trust he depends on, and race after race, the deficit compounded. From an analytical perspective, Bagnaia's struggles were not about talent erosion. They were about a broken feedback loop between rider, engineers, and expectation. And this is where Davide Tardozzi's role became both critical and controversial. As team manager, Tardozzi occupies MotoGP's most exposed position. He is the bridge between rider psychology and technical absolutism. In 2025, he publicly acknowledged that Ducati may have understood Bagnaia's needs too late, particularly regarding front-end feel. Inside a manufacturer built on engineering conviction, those words landed heavily. To some, it was refreshing honesty. To others, it sounded like an implicit challenge to technical leadership. And in MotoGP, perception matters almost as much as lap time. As the off-season began and attention shifted toward the seismic reset coming in 2027, new engines, reduced aerodynamics, and a new tire supplier, the rumor mill ignited. Italian media began floating the idea of a divorce between Ducati and Tardozzi. Some reports even suggested internal fractures had reached a breaking point. Then Ducati did something very un-Ducati. Ahead of the Champions Celebration event in Bologna, the factory posted a photo of Tardozzi and Gigi D'Allegna together with a single word in the caption, divorce, followed by, discover more at 12:00 p.m. It was tongue-in-cheek but also calculated, and when the moment came, Tardozzi didn't dodge the subject. He confronted it head-on. There have been absurd and unfounded rumors, he said. In fact, we asked ourselves why, because there was absolutely no reason. Asked whether the reports bothered him, his response was unequivocal, absolutely not. I know my relationship with Gigi D'Allegna and Claudio Domenicali. We laughed wondering why these rumors even came out. There is no basis to them. Then came the line that mattered most. when people write about internal rumors, it's not clear who they are referring to because there are no internal rumors at all. The symbolism was impossible to ignore. On stage in Bologna, Tardozzi and Giggy embraced an image that did more damage to speculation than any press release ever could. Later, Tardozzi reinforced the message, "There's no reason for this story, but if people think I can make headlines, that's fine. My relationship with Ducati is absolutely solid." From an analyst's perspective, this wasn't just a denial, it was a repositioning. Tardozzi confirmed that continuity is the plan. He will remain Ducati MotoGP team manager through 2026, with the intention of extending his role through 2028. And that matters because stability is about to become MotoGP's most valuable currency. The 2027 regulations will challenge every advantage Ducati currently holds. Engines change, aerodynamics are curtailed, Michelin exits, and Pirelli enters. In that environment, leadership cohesion becomes as critical as horsepower. Tardozzi himself made Ducati's priorities clear. "We're working on renewing Marc," he admitted, "but right now, we're more focused on improving the bike because our rivals are improving." That single sentence reveals Ducati's true mindset. Marc Marquez's renewal for 2027 and beyond is a priority, but not at the expense of performance. Honda's interest in bringing him back is real. With a clean sheet regulation reset approaching, HRCC's opportunity. Tardozzi understands that retaining Marquez won't come down to money alone, it will come down to belief. At the same time, Ducati must rebuild Bagnaia's confidence. And throughout 2025, Tardozzi never wavered in his public support even when criticism mounted internally. That balancing act, defending riders without undermining engineers, is precisely why his role remains indispensable. Here's the irony. The very qualities that made Tardozzi vulnerable to rumors are the same ones Ducati cannot afford to lose. He is emotional. He is visible. He speaks when others hide behind data. In a paddock increasingly dominated by corporate messaging, that humanity stands out and sometimes unsettles. Yes, potential successors were mentioned. Michel Pirro, Gino Borsoi, Francesco Guidotti, all credible names, but credibility does not equal inevitability. Since taking charge in 2014, Tardozzi has overseen Ducati's transformation from perennial underachiever to era-defining force. Titles with Bagnaia, a satellite crown with Jorge Martin, and now dominance with Marc Marquez. In MotoGP, loyalty is conditional, but results are king. And as things stand, nothing is breaking at Borgo Panigale. What cracked in 2025 was not the relationship between Ducati and Tardozzi, but the illusion that dominance eliminates tension. It doesn't. It magnifies it. Davide Tardozzi remains exactly where he has always been, at the center of Ducati's success, absorbing pressure so others can focus on speed. And if this episode proved anything, it's this. When Ducati wants to shut down a rumor, they don't whisper. They laugh. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow MotoGP Updater for more deep dive analysis. Thanks for watching.